Well, in a day of two halves, the last 24 hours have been pretty wild in the crypto market. It was on, then it was off, and then it was past, then it wasn't. And then everyone decided to spread some complete nonsense. What am I talking about? All of these bills going through the House. We finally got the procedural vote done, but then we failed at the first hurdle. Now, what does it mean for the price of Bitcoin? Where is it going to go? And more importantly, what does your portfolio look like at the end of all of this? Well, guess what? I'm going to break it down for you in this video, as I do every single day, giving you the latest in terms of charts, as well as some price predictions and much, much more. So go ahead, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel to make sure your portfolio is dialed in this bull market. With that being said, let's get into it. Okay, first things first, I want to address this that is circulating like wildfire. And the reality is they're talking utter nonsense. You may have seen this tweet coming out. I think it was broke by Altcoin Daily. Now, I like the guys over at Altcoin Daily, but you gotta get your facts right when you start to critique certain things. This was put out saying the US Marshals revealed that the government now only holds 28,988 Bitcoin worth $3.4 billion instead of the estimated 200,000 Bitcoin. Come on, people, we're better than this. The bull market's here. Stop being weird. This is not true. Arkham Intelligence, as well as the blockchain, simply doesn't lie. The fact that this is the US Marshals forfeited BTC, not the entire government. This is important to reference. The total US government still holds well over 198,000 Bitcoin. You can see it on Arkham Intelligence. We can see it in a wallet, yada, yada, yada. All of that. This is just the US Marshal Services, not all of the US government. So I just want to clear that up because I think it's important as we walk through this bull market. You got to know what you're talking about. We have to have the facts and we have to be absolutely dialed in. So again, I want to be clear about this. Yes, the US still has a huge amount of Bitcoin and that this is simply not true. All right. So if they're telling lies, unsubscribe and subscribe to me instead. Right. Let's talk about this. Genius Act, Anti-CBDC and the Clarity Act, we know didn't pass yesterday. In fact, 17 of the Republican candidates, as well as every single Democratic candidate, said no, they didn't want to pass it until Trump got on the WhatsApp group and said, guys, that's not how we run this game. You better get this one through. So the procedural vote then re-voted this morning and it passed. Great news, tick in the box. Here we go, good news. However, the first vote that came in, now the problem here you've got is it is actually tied to a defense spending budget, which isn't a particularly great idea, but they're trying to push this through quick before midterms, before they kind of debate around how many seats are in the House. But they did initially pass it. The first vote that went in, which was all about the CBDC Stablecoin Act and surveillance of it, did actually fail. The nervousness around backdoors, the ability for the Fed to just decide they're going to do a federal CBDC didn't go through. Now, with everything, they kind of go away. Trump gets on the blower, and tomorrow I'm sure they'll come back and do it. The voting was about 211 to the Democrats and about 202 to the Republicans. So they missed out by about 9 votes. I'm sure they'll come back tomorrow. And the rest of it is tomorrow. The Genius Act, as well as that stablecoin bill as well, will go through the House tomorrow. So I would expect a clean sweep. Now, just for reference, that's why we've seen such a volatile day here in the crypto market. Now, we've been retesting this 14-year resistance line, but you take today as an example of just kind of where we started, this lower range here earlier on in the day, and then starting to push up. So we actually had a nice little move to the upside, and then obviously we see this big wick down and volatility that comes in. So kind of been playing out as you would expect with all of this Genius Act, Clarity Bill, and everything else going through. But I think tomorrow, much more solid. Look for a retest of 120K. That's my opinion. And I'll tell you why. Because in all of this, with all of this trying to get it through the House, you've got crazy things like this. The Bank of America confirming that they're exploring stable coins as a potential payment revolution. So these bills that we're trying to pass through the House actually have massive repercussions into the banking sector, the finance sector, and everything else, in particular the governmental sector as well. And actually what we get here is a real divided state, which is Democrats don't want it, Republicans do. But in terms of actual financial or fiscal policy, it becomes really important to get involved. And you're going to see more and more stable coins being adopted. They're the biggest entity that holds US treasuries. When you walk through that, they want to bring it back to America. Circle IPO is a US-based company. Of course, they want them to hold on. USDT, the same, built over there. So again, this is going to be really, really important. Stablecoin growth will outpace traditional networks. And you can see that, for example, the stablecoin accumulation surged over $257 billion, nearly double the level from 2023. So there is an insatiable appetite, not only for Bitcoin at the minute, but for stable coins as well. And this is why traders now are predicting big moves. Now, we'd love rate cuts in July. I simply, unfortunately, have to say I don't think it's going to happen now with everything that's going on. but certainly September feels very much more optimistic as we've gone through. However, traders are now increasing their bets for the potential rate cuts from the Federal Reserve and actually are actively looking to largen their positions and make sure that they are anticipating those accommodative monetary policies, i.e. quantitative easing, cheap money, go and print it, print treasuries, stablecoins buy it, market goes to the moon. Do you know what I mean? It's all those kind of things. And Brandon Murphy, who is the head of fixed income, said this: US interest rates may decline slightly before the end of the year, but substantial rate cuts are expected to occur next year, reflecting the overall industry sentiment. So this argues that we might see a 2026 bull market as this kind of all plays through, and that we actually see a little bit more bearishness back end, very optimistic into the new year. However, with anything that goes on this market, there's the people that think and the people that don't. The reality is Crypto.com here, again, a long-time viewer of the channel that we obviously talk about, says the 4-year cycle is still very much in play, and all those that think we're going into 2026 have simply got it wrong. His prediction: market tops August, September, that's where I've got mine. Second peak October, November 2025. It's playing out exactly as we've seen in the previous markets. The only difference is the insatiable appetite from those Wall Street ETFs, as well as Wall Street institutional buying, and I think we're going to see more of that. So tomorrow is another critical day. We'll obviously keep you posted on all my social medias. By the way, don't forget I'm on TikTok now, so come and follow me over there. We're actually live streaming on there as well. So as always, thank you for watching the video. We really appreciate it. Hit the like and subscribe button. Check out the links in the description as always, and I'm going to be back with some more content for you guys very, very soon. So with that being said, I'm out of here. Take care.